A round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Conversations with Val McFarlane, a special edition of our program. We're presenting this program in beautiful downtown St. Paul. And our special thanks to the City of St. Paul and particularly the Riverview Economic Development Association, REDA. We thank them so much for hosting this important meeting. I want to begin at this point, or take a minute here to introduce the illustrious panel. My colleagues, I mentioned that we are the Minnesota Multicultural Media Consortium. And this project is called AHANA, which stands for African, African-American, Hispanic, Asian, and Native American. A unique and novel idea. We have decided, we men and women who own ethnic media, that we should cooperate and collaborate, that we can do more together than we can do separately. Well, let me first introduce the principal architect of our activity, Mr. Nihan. Nihan is the publisher of the Asian American Press and the president of Minnesota Multicultural Media Consortium. Mr. Nihan. And Adolfo Cardona is publisher of Latino Midwest. Adolfo Cardona. Tom Gita is publisher of Mshali newspaper, a brilliant and beautiful emerging African newspaper. Tom Gita. And our colleague David Glass is here on behalf of the American Indian Community and Press, the Circle. David Glass. For this panel, we want to talk about what it means for the city to provide opportunity. What's the connection between planning and economic development and how the city and the community work together? What the community's response is. So we've asked Chris Romano to talk about the important work of REDA, and we've asked him to sort of bounce that conversation off of Tom Sanchez, representing the Department of Planning and Economic Development. And I'm going to just have you all take the microphone there, and first of all, introduce your departments and your work. And thank you both for being here. Let me begin with Chris Romano. Chris?
Good evening. My name is Chris Romano, and I'm the Executive Director of the Riverview Economic Development Association, which is the only CDC that's doing economic development work on St. Paul's West Side. And I see many faces in the audience that I recognize. There are many West Side business owners or business representatives here, and I'm proud of that. I'm happy to see you here. For those of you who don't know REDA and know about our work, we really serve two capacities for West Side businesses. On the one hand, we are the business association for the West Side, sort of like a mini chamber of commerce. And we have over 100 businesses that are members of our association. Many of them have businesses on the West Side or do business on the West Side or are interested in some of the ethnic groups that have had a long-standing tradition on the West Side. We hold training and networking events for our members. We do fundraisers. We have loan and grant programs for local businesses. The other component of our work is the CDC side, and CDC stands for Community Development Corporation. And as a Community Development Corporation on the West Side, it's really our responsibility to ensure that the West Side neighborhood revitalizes in the best way possible, and that we do all that we can to help lead this neighborhood and bring resources into this neighborhood and ensure that from a business perspective, but also from a residential and community's perspective, this neighborhood thrives. And I was reflecting a little bit about some of the things that the mayor had just said, and one of the things that stuck with me out of his words tonight is his comment that, yes, we are in a very, very difficult financial and economic time, but it's also a time of opportunity. And I think that can't be any more true. Right now in District El Sol, which is the West Side's largest commercial corridor, it's perhaps one of the most recognizable commercial corridors in the city of St. Paul. It's one of the most unique and diverse commercial corridors in the Twin Cities metro area. I've never seen as many vacancies in District El Sol as I do today. And I've been involved in this neighborhood for the last 8 years. And there are storefronts that are empty in spots where they never used to be empty. And it's discouraging on the one hand to come to work and be a part of this community and see that. But on the other hand, a huge opportunity for our local businesses and for folks who have a desire to do business in District del Sol. One of our jokes in the office is that a couple of years ago, everybody who had a building up for sale wanted $1 million. And it was sort of true. Whenever you heard about a business that was for sale, people wanted large amounts of money to sell their properties. And those buildings and those businesses today are a fraction of that cost. And for a small business owner who wants to expand or who wants to get into business, today is a very good economy to do that. And Rita brings many tools, many of which are in partnership with Tom's department at the city and the city of St. Paul, but we bring many tools to those businesses that exist on the west side or that want to exist on the west side. And many of those are loan and grant programs. And one of the pieces of information you typically hear in the media these days is that there aren't loans available for small business. Businesses are suffocating because they don't have the capital they need to expand or to cover their cash flow. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And one of my goals for being here tonight is to make sure that message gets across. And I know there are community bankers in the room today that I've met with. I know there are folks at the city in the room today that I've met with. And we have those types of resources. And if you're a small business on the west side and you need some money to renovate your business, to expand your business, to buy some additional machinery that you might need to be successful, we can provide those kinds of dollars. And we do that in connection with the community banks in the neighborhood. We do that in connection with the city of St. Paul and Tom Sanchez's department, and we do that with other entities. And I encourage folks to take advantage of that. Rita also provides small business grants to the west side, and one of the nice things about a grant, obviously, is you don't have to pay it. You don't have to pay it back, so they're a little bit more competitive. But there are free dollars that are available if you'd like to start a business on the west side, or if you're currently in business on the west side. And I speak to this from a west side perspective because that's where I do my work, and that's the area that I'm passionate about. But many of the neighborhoods in St. Paul have these kinds of programs that are available for folks who have small businesses, who want to start small businesses. And much of that is done together with Tom and his department and some of the programs that exist. It's a very exciting time because of some of the additional funds and resources that are coming from a federal level. I'm still trying to figure out how all of those work together and how we can get those into our neighborhoods. But I think we'll be able to figure out how to do that collectively with city government and state government. There are a lot of people that could be thanked for putting this together tonight. I won't get into everyone's names, but there were a lot of highly powerful folks that were a part of this event tonight, and it really starts with the mayor. And to have the mayor of our city come here and spend some time with us to talk about issues that are of importance to us, I think shows the city's commitment to ensuring the continued success of West Side businesses. My last comment, and I'll turn this over to Tom to talk a little bit about some of the specific city programs and initiatives that are going on, is that I encourage people to ask questions. And I know you come to these things and everybody says you should ask questions, and oftentimes panelists speak and nobody does. But I would strongly encourage you to ask questions. If you have a specific incident that's facing your business right now, if you have something that you've seen in your community that you're not sure why it exists or how to make it better, there are a lot of very knowledgeable people in this room that can help provide answers, and that's one of the main reasons that we came together tonight. So with that, I'll turn it over to Tom, but I will be available for questions. Thank you.